हाँ पड़े आस ना चेयर एपट अच्छे हाँ तो सेपट पड़े आस धीरे सर भी सुन सर आपने चेयर सारे ठीक है ये एबे सांग सांग करियो हमें 11:30 गेला ना
जम्मा करते हो ना
ये तो बस
Good morning and welcome all the participants. Today we are going to organize a web-based seminar on the topic maternal mortality in India, its causes and remedies. We have the chairperson of this webinar, Professor Prabhakar Rao, esteemed principal, and resource person, Dr. Bibhabari Bal, and the organizing secretary, Captain Manoj Parida, HOD, Department of Sociology. Friends, maternal mortality is a major topic today, a major serious public health problem all over the globe and specifically in the developing countries. Today's discussion will help us to find out certain causes and remedies to overcome these issues. Before going to the discussion, now I will turn the time over to Captain Manoj Parida to take up the seminars.
Thank you. Thank you, dear Ranjit Babu, faculty, Department of Sociology, Pattamundai College. Respected Principal Sir, Professor Prabhakar Rao Sir, respected resource person, Dr. Bibhabari Bal Madam, respected teachers from different colleges, teachers from our college, Pattamundai College, dear students from different colleges and Pattamundai College. Here I take this opportunity to introduce our principal, as well as to introduce our resource person to the learned audience. First I go to our resource person, Dr. Bibhabari Bal, madam. She is HOD, head of the department Sociology at BJB Autonomous College, Bhubaneswar. And she has contributed a lot towards the development of her subject. She has contributed some research papers in both national and international journals. Presently, she is engaged in some research works on yoga, higher education, women studies, sociology of health, and different other things. And another introduction regarding her is that she belongs to our locality. He belongs to Pattamundai. So when I contacted her on behalf of our college,
देवे सर्टिफिकेट जो देवे 87 मेसेज करबे मेसेज आसलो एबे 86
so when I contacted her regarding our request, she immediately agreed, and with all interest, she agreed to our proposal. Next, I go to our principal, sir, Prabhakar sir. Sir is very much encouraging. He encourages us always to do some activities like this. He is a member of English department, and he always takes interest in these activities of the college as well as different academic and non-academic activities also. Now, I don't take more time, hand over the responsibility to Ranjit sir.
Thank you, Manoj. Now I request esteemed principal to speak a few lines to our respectable participants. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Respected resource person, dear students of Sociology department, as principal of Pattamundai College, I welcome all the people associated with this webinar program. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the Department of Sociology for arranging this program, which has relevance in the present social context. The subject is maternal mortality in India. So this topic has different regions when we analyze from social point of view. The regions are like lack of education, ignorance, poverty, early marriage, abortion, gender bias, malnutrition, lack of health facilities, rural areas, a religious bias in some communities. So due to these reasons, this maternal mortality in India, even today, though we proclaim that India is the fast moving economy, it is also in an alarming state. So the government of Odisha and also government of Odisha is doing a lot of things in this respect. And I feel that many more things have to be done so that we can face this challenge. I am not an expert in this field. So now I declare this webinar program open, and I also wish all the success. And again, I thank to the Department of Sociology and also the IQAC members of Pattamundai College for arranging this program. I also welcome my sister Lina Nadija, who is from Natural College. She has joined where I see. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Sir, for your kind and valuable words. Friends, before proceeding to the discussion, let me speak a few lines that maternal mortality in India is also growing rapidly. Around 1.30 million maternal deaths have been occurred in India between 1997 to 2020. In these circumstances, the expertise and the credibility and the depth of experience of Dr. Bibhabari Bal, our respectable resource person, will add value to this seminar. I welcome Dr. Bal to pick up the topic and share her expertise to the audience. I welcome Dr. Bibhabari Bal, Madam.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible and visible? I think I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible, Madam. Please go on.
Samasthanko mora bahut namaskar. Respected Principal Sir, HOD of the department, Manoj Sir, co-convener, Senior Faculty, Senapati Sir, members of IQAC, teachers of this college and other colleges, and my dear students. I feel myself immensely privileged for being part of this intellectual program for two reasons. First of all, the theme of the discussion that is very close to my heart because it is something related to social issues and which is, it's a major issue of our state. And second reason is that to whom I'm addressing, all of them belongs to my native place. So I proudly say that I'm the daughter of this soil. And so from that context, I have a very personal, emotional attachment to this place. So when I received this offer from Parida sir, I immediately grabbed it with the thinking that maybe in this way I can serve the young minds of this place, emotionally attached. So thank you once again, Parida sir and his team members for giving me this opportunity to present my views on the topic that is maternal mortality, causes and remedies. Sir, may I share the PPT with you so that it would be convenient for all of us
Yes, ma'am.
to proceed? Okay. So let me share the PPT first. Just a moment. Is it visible? Is it visible now?
Yes, yes. Ah,
Okay, thank you. So, as the topic suggests, so we are going to discuss on the theme maternal mortality in India, causes and measures. So before going into detail about the causes and measures, let's have a focus on the present scenario, how maternal mortality in a ratio that is found throughout the world and particularly in our state and in our country. That we can have some idea on the present situation of maternal mortality. And as you know, that our country is grappled under many socio-economic issues. We have lots of challenges, and those are major obstacle for a sustainable growth, for an all-round development of our country. So one among all such major issues, maternal mortality is regarded as one of the prime issues. It's because that many among us live in rural areas, and maternal health has been neglected since many decades. Now lots of emphasis is being given due to international pressure, due to focus on sustainable development, focus on health for all programs. So this is one of the very what you can say, one of the central area to discuss on the theme, that to know about its factors and what can be done at our level to eradicate such problems. So let's focus on some of the statistical data that what I have collected from some of the major sources like World Bank, National Family Health Survey, and also from UNICEF. So when you look at the world scenario, we find that the maternal mortality ratio has been decreased. Since many decades, we see there is a sharp decline, and this is really, you can say, a sigh of relief to all of us. And this data has been released by UNICEF, and this data has been taken from 2000 to 2017, and it shows that there is 38% decrease in maternal mortality rate. So we find that the maternal mortality, which was 342 during 2000, now it has been reduced to 211 in 2017. So there is a positive hope that we are gradually controlling maternal mortality, or to some extent we are reducing maternal mortality at the global level. But when you look at the developed countries and underdeveloped countries or developing countries like India, we find there is a hell and heaven difference. Though at the global scale, there is a sharp decline, but when you look at the ratio of developed and underdeveloped countries, then we find that 90% of all such cases of maternal death, that is found among lower middle income countries, low and lower middle income countries, and India is also part of it. Though major prevalence of maternal mortality is sub-Saharan African countries, and next to African countries, when you speak about Asian countries, India, of course, has a major number. And when from the perspective of age group, when you look at the prevalence of maternal mortality, we find that young adolescent groups, particularly the age group 10 to 14, that face a higher risk of complications and death due to early pregnancy at the younger age. And another report which has been published by Health and Family Welfare Statistics of our country, published in 2019-20, it says that MMR has declined to 120 in comparison to 301 in last, you can say 10 or 12 years. Because during 2001 to 2003, MMR rate was 301. Now it has been reduced to 122. Am I audible? Is there any problem? Am I audible? Am I audible to?
Yes, madam, you are audible.
Okay. So I heard some noise, so I felt that perhaps I'm not audible. So the statistical report, which has been revealed by the Health and Family Welfare Department, it shows that there is a decline. That is the decline in MMR. That's how so that there is a reason to feel happy that the maternal mortality rate is gradually getting reduced, right? But when you look at the national picture, by comparing the maternal mortality rate in various states, we find that in Odisha, we have 150 cases of maternal mortality per 1 lakh live births. So this is how the maternal mortality ratio is measured. And Odisha is found among first 5 states which have highest number of maternal mortality rate. So for that matter, it's a concern for all of us, because our country is our state is a less developed state, and it shouldn't be the first 5 number of states to say that a maternal mortality rate is highest among us. But in last few decades, as many reports suggest, that there is a decline. But still, why we are discussing on maternal mortality? It's because though there is a decline, but the number 150 or 164 or whatever it may be, that's not a healthy sign. So we have to bring it down to at least a single digit number. It should not be restricted to 3-digit number. So this shows that we are falling behind. So how much technological advancement we may make, how much progress we may make for ourselves, but if you cannot ensure proper maternal health, if you cannot provide that much infrastructural facilities to all young adolescent girl and women towards their reproductive health, then there is no meaning to the development. So there are enough reason to discuss on this issue, because still we are struggling hard how to reduce the number to a single digit or at least to a double digit number. And as it is known that in southern state, the maternal mortality picture is quite positive, because you find that Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala all have 2-digit number. That means their status with regard to maternal mortality is much better than our states. Now coming to the concept, what do you mean by maternal mortality? Okay, so maternal mortality basically refers to death of a woman while pregnant or within 42 days of termination of pregnancy. So this is how WHO, World Health Organization, defines. So, and when you try to understand what you mean by maternal mortality, this is the meaning, that it refers to death of a woman while pregnant or within 42 days of termination of pregnancy. Pregnancy ସମୟରେ ବା child delivery ର 42 दिन ଭିତରେ ଯଦି କୌଣସି ମାର ମୃତ୍ୟୁ ହେଇଯାଏ, ତାହେଲେ ଆମେ ତାକୁ maternal mortality ବୋଲି କହିବା. But ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ମୃତ୍ୟୁ ହେଇଥାଏ, ସେଟା ଯଦି କୌଣସି accident ରୁ ହେଇଛି ବା ଆଉ କିଛି କାରଣରୁ ହେଇଛି, ତାହେଲେ ସେଟାକୁ maternal mortality କୁହାଯିବନି. କିନ୍ତୁ ଯଦି ସେ death ଟା pregnancy related କୌଣସି କାରଣରୁ ହେଇଥାଏ during the time of pregnancy or within the 40 days of postpartum, that is the within the 40 days of termination of pregnancy, when delivery ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ 42 ଦିନ ଭିତରେ ବି ଯଦି ମୃତ୍ୟୁ ହେଇଥାଏ, ତାହେଲେ ଆମେ ତାକୁ maternal mortality କହିପାରିବା. ଆଉ 42 ଦିନରୁ ବର୍ଷେ ଭିତରେ, that is when the period is more than 40 days but less than 1 year, ସେଇ period ଭିତରେ ଯଦି termination ହେଇଥାଏ, ତାହେଲେ ସେଇଟାକୁ late maternal death ବୋଲି କୁହାଯିବ. ତ basically maternal mortality କହିଲେ ଆମେ ଏୟା ହିଁ ବୁଝୁଛୁ, death of a pregnant woman during the time of pregnancy or within 42 days of termination of pregnancy. That is called maternal mortality. Then what is maternal mortality ratio? Maternal mortality ratio is an indicator to know about the status of maternal health, particularly to know about reproductive health, to know about the overall health status of the people. So there are many indicators which are very important to follow. So maternal mortality ratio is another indicator to measure the status of maternal mortality in a particular locality or in a particular country. So this ratio is important in the present context, because as you must be knowing that in United Nations Human Development Index, Gender Development Index, there are different parameters on the basis of which we measure the quality of development of our countries or of various nation states. So it's important to have the knowledge on this kind of indicators. So how is it measured? Eta kemiti mapajaye, maternal mortality ratio eta kemiti mapajaye. So it is defined as the number of maternal deaths during a given time period per 1 lakh live births. Tamane gotte lakshya life birth ba jetତେବେଳେ ଶିଶୁ ଜନ୍ମ ହଉଛନ୍ତି ସେଇ ତୁଳନାରେ ଯେତେ maternal death ହଉଛି ତାକୁ ଆମେ ହିସାବକୁ ନେଇକିରି କହିଥାଉ ଯେ ଏଟା ହେଲା maternal mortality ratio. So maternal mortality ratio simply refers to number of maternal deaths per 1 lakh live births. So the calculation is like this: when we divide the number of live births with the number of maternal death and multiply with 1 lakh population, then we get the number. So number of maternal death must be divided by number of live births, and then it must be multiplied by 1 lakh to get maternal mortality ratio. So this ratio is important because it acts as an indicator to human health. Now coming to causes. What are causes for maternal mortality? As you know that maternal mortality that pose a serious concern in India and particularly in our state. Even in the coastal belt of the Odisha, like Kendrapara district, Jajpur district, or Jagatsinghpur district, maternal mortality is still a grave issue. And for that matter, we must try to understand what are the socio-economic factors behind it. Now, there are many biological, medical grounds for maternal mortality, but being a student of sociology, we must be able Is there any problem? Okay, is there any problem?
No, ma'am, continue.
Okay. So what we are discussing about the causes of maternal mortality. So in our context, that means in the state of Odisha, or in the coastal belt of Odisha, it's a more matter of concern to all of us to focus on the maternal health, because it is still regarded as a major challenge. So what are the broad causes to maternal mortality apart from biological and medical causes? When you focus on some of the universal causes, we find that pregnancy related complications, that is one of the major cause, and this is more complicated in a particular age group, that is 15 to 19 age group, with among the, you can say, the young adolescent girls. Because we know there is still prevalence of the early marriages, child marriages is still occurring. So before 18, many girls are given into marriage. It happens both in the rural areas as well as in urban areas. In slum, you will find that in many of the slums, girls are given into marriage after the age of 16. They do not wait for the age of 18. And in rural areas, the situation is also same. So in that case, the complicacy, that increases, and pregnancy-related complications, that is very common among them. And another important cause is high BP during pregnancy. And the next one is complication from delivery and unsafe abortion. So unsafe abortion or complications at the time of delivery, during pregnancy, these things happens due to our ignorance, illiteracy, or lack of accessibility to medical knowledge or related awareness. And another important factor is severe bleeding during the time of childbirth. And the most important reason is infection, which occurs due to which occurs at the time of postpartum or after childbirth. So this is also very important factor related to maternal mortality. So these are very common causes which are found at the national level. If you look at the situation of Odisha, the following three factors are very prominent, like complications during delivery, postpartum infection, the infection which occurs after childbirth, and unsafe abortion. Unsafe abortion because in many cases illegal abortion also takes place. So these are four major cases of maternal death. Now coming to socio-economic causes of the maternal death. So what we discussed till now, the broad areas. Now coming to the specific areas which leads to maternal mortality. Focusing on the socio-economic causes of maternal mortality, one of the prime causes malnutrition in women and adolescent girls. You will be surprised to know that from many statistical report reveals that 23% of Indian women, Indian adult women, they suffer due to anemic and low weight. So where their BMI is below the average. BMI refers to body mass index. And while talking about the pregnant women, we find that 50% of antenatal women are anemic. Anemic, आमे काहाकू कहबा जो जहाको आमे ओडिया रे कहले रक्तहीनता कहै जे बा जते आम शरीर जते की रक्त दरकार करे आम भितरे से अभावता थाए तो जते प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन अछंदी ता भितर 50% से माने एनेमिक द्वारा सफर करंदी. So this is the national figure. And 23% of women have low BMI, a low body mass index. So low body mass index is an evidence of chronic energy deficiency. So body mass index जदि हमर low रहबो तम energy level भी low रहबो. तार गोटे standard अछि जेमते कि body mass index ता 18 रु 25 भितर रहबा कथा. BMI तमे जदि कोन से हॉस्पिटल नियरेस्ट हॉस्पिटल को जाई किरी पिला मान को कहूची जदि तमे निजर BMI जानिया को चाहिबो त तमे इजीली जानि परिबो. तम BMI जदि 18 रु 25 भितर रहूची ताले सेटा नॉर्मल बोली धरा जिवो. 18 रु ऊर्ध्व 25 तळको आ जदि 18 रु तळको रहूची ताले सेटा को लो BMI कहै जाय. आ जदि 25 ऊपर को रहिबो ताले सेटा को कोन हाई BMI बा ओवर वेट बोली कहै जिवो. जोटा 18 तळको बा लो BMI सेठी कोन कहै जे ना we say that women they have very low weight. तांकर एनर्जी लेवल बहुत कम थाए, बहुत लो वेट थांती और से जगह जदि से प्रेग्नेंट होंती तो डेफिनेटली दे आर गोइंग टू फेस लॉट्स ऑफ इश्यूज, pregnancy related issues. And we have found that the women with low BMI are found more in number in rural areas than urban areas. According to National Family Health Survey report 2015-16, that the proportion of such women with low BMI, which is 23% of the total, is highest in the rural areas, comprising 27%, whereas in urban areas, they comprise only 16%. तो जदि लो BMI होची ताल तार इफेक्ट कोन होची तो दीटा बड़ इफेक्ट गोटे हला एनेमिक ता रहबो कांस्टेंटली जोथि पई लो बर्थ वेट रो बेबीज जन्म नेबे. Again low weight when we give birth to low weight babies, so they need lots of care, right? They need lots of attention, and when you fail to provide that attention, that care, then it again increase the infant mortality rate. So infant survival, infant health is very much dependent on the health of the mother. So it's very important if you want to regulate and check infant mortality, first of all, we must try hard to check maternal mortality, right? So here, another implication of low BMI is that there is risk of hemorrhage after delivery and various, also there is risk of various infection related issues. So when we remain under low BMI, so there are lots of adverse outcomes. We may give birth to low birth weight babies, that we may be prone to such kind of risk factors like hemorrhage after delivery or in more such infections, right? So what we find that why there is a low body mass index, or why many women in the rural areas, particularly during their reproductive period, they have very low weight, it's because their intake of calories is substantially below the recommended level. How much calories that we must take, okay? So to which we are not much aware of. So nutritional supplement must be given properly through our diet, and it must not be the issue during the days of pregnancy. So some steps must be taken from the days of childhood. So it's like a cyclical movement. So if you provide all nutritional supplement to a girl child from her childhood days, then we can expect to be a healthy mother in future. But what happens that due to our cultural hindrances, patriarchal attitude, lots of socio-cultural barriers are there, for which we are not giving enough attention to the health of the adolescent girls. So when they grow up and become mother at that early age, then it poses a serious issues. So the most important point is because of low intake of calories, right? And this is how it gives rise to low BMI or anemic condition or low weight of the woman, right? Now, coming to the next cause, the early marriage and teenage pregnancy. Early marriage is very common to the people of the rural areas, tribal areas, and also the people of the slum areas in urban communities. So it gives rise to teenage pregnancy. So about 20% to 26.8% of girls, they get married below the age of 18 years. And early marriage that leads to teenage pregnancy, and which is a risky pregnancy. So teenage pregnancy is always a risky pregnancy because at that time their body is not prepared. गोटे निर्दिष्ट बयस थाए 18 वर्ष ऊर्ध्वे जने माँ जदि जने महिला जदि माँ हुंती ताले से अवस्था चाइल्ड बियर करबा बा प्रेगनेंसी रिलेटेड जहाँ भी इश्यूज अछि तो डील करबा सुविधा हुए किंतु 18 वर्ष पूर्वरु जदि जने प्रेग्नेंट होची and that too with the low BMI, low weight and anemic condition, then definitely it is giving rise to complications, right? So तो प्राय तो teenage pregnancy को हमें गोटे risky pregnancy बोली कही थाओ कहीं ना ता result रे जो छुआ माने जन्म हुंती प्राय 50% of such cases we have found as stillbirth or neonatal death. Either से छुआ माने स्टिल बर्थ थे कि जन्म नियंती बाद सेमानंकर नियोनेटल डेथ हे जाए माने ए जगह रे इन्फेंट मोर्टालिटी केसेस बहुत अधिक देखा जाए. So nearly 8% of the birth in India occurred in teenage group. So this is a serious concern for all of us to understand the link between teenage pregnancy with the maternal mortality. And anemia is widely prevalent among the rural adolescent girls in India, as we are not much conscious of adequate nutritional intake. So very often we are prone to anemic conditions. And this gives rise to high risk pregnancy. And again, this gives rise to abnormal conception and prolonged labor, and the extreme case maternal mortality. So ए अवस्था रे जतबेले हम माने जाऊ ठीक भाबरे हमको से मेडिकल सुविधा मिले बा हमको सब परामर्श जोगे दिया जाए ताले हमें मोर्टालिटी भले एक्सट्रीम रिजल्ट को अवॉइड करि परिबा नहले we have no option but to meet the harsh consequence. अब गोटे फैक्टर है हाई फर्टिलिटी एंड रिपीटेड प्रेगनेंसी बा जोटा को हमें कहबा छुआ जन्म करबा मध्य व्यवधान. So it has been found particularly in the rural areas due to several reasons. It leads to high fertility and repeated pregnancy, and the average fertility though has been declined to 2.2, but still the crude birth rate is high among the people in rural areas. Particularly in the state like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh, the average birth rate that is high among them in comparison to other states. सो एटा कहीं के हुए बट ए जो उत्तर भारत रे विशेष करी जतबे हम देखुछु फर्टिलिटी रेट बहुत अधिक अछि से तार बहुत बड़े कारण अछि प्रथम कारण ताहला से माने बहुत गरीब थांती अशिक्षित थांती तांक स्वास्थ्यगत ज्ञान बहुत कम थाए आउ तांका भितरे जेहेतु से जो मोर्टालिटी रेट भी अधिका थाए इन्फेंट मोर्टालिटी रेट so they don't have faith on themselves and they are in such a fear that they may meet more such cases in future. So the couples are not sure of the survival of their children, hence give birth to more number of children. So infant mortality adhika rahibaro bahut gode karan achi. And there is also high risk of maternal mortality in case of mothers whose age are either below 20 or above 30 years. So maternal mortality बहुत अधिका से जगह रे रहुची जोठी मां मानकर बयस 20 वर्ष रु तळकु बा 30 वर्ष रु अधिका रहउची आउ कोठी रहउची ना जोठी बर्थ इंटरवल टा 2 वर्ष रु कम रहउची माने गोटे छुआ जन्म करिवार 2 वर्ष रु कम समय भीतर जते सेकंड छुआ हुए बा थर्ड छुआ हुए तो से समय रे हमें कोन कहउछु जे सेटा को हमें कह जे बर्थ स्पेस. So when that birth space is very narrow, then it has a more risk, it creates more risk for maternal health and giving rise to maternal mortality. And in case where the woman has already given birth to 3 children in short time period, माने बहुत कम व्यवधान रे जतबेले 3टा छुआ जन्म हे थांते ऑलरेडी तो से जगह रे मां आहुरी अधिक रिस्क रे आसी जाए तो it may lead to maternal mortality. So early fertility, repeated pregnancy, these are also reason to maternal mortality. And the next factor is high incidence or prevalence of reproductive tract infection or sexually transmitted infection. जहाँ हमें कहबा RTI and STI, very popularly known as RTI and STI, जोटा हम reproductive tract infection हे थाए बा sexually transmitted infection जैसे HIV वाला disease भी हे थाए. So it statistics coach about 6% of adults have one or other RTI or STI. So STI and RTI have its impact on infertility, stillbirth, neonatal death, and maternal death. So when a pregnant woman suffer due to reproductive tract infection, a reproductive tract infection way basically ignorance ro जतबले समाने निजर स्वास्थ्य विषय सेतिकी सचेतन हे न थांती बा जतबले इन्फेक्शन हुए ठीक भाबरे मेडिकल असिस्टेंस नै न थांती तो से अवस्था रे इनफर्टिलिटी, स्टिलबर्थ, नियोनेटल डेथ, मैटरनल डेथ पर्यंत एभली कन्सिक्वेंस भी आसी पारे, एभली परिणति भी आसी पारे. तो बहुत इंपोर्टेंट हैला फ्रॉम द वेरी अर्ली phase that infection must be properly addressed through medical interventions. A good important karan hela unsafe abortion, and statistics say that nearly 30% of the maternal mortality is an account of unsafe abortion. Ama jette unsafe abortion ama jette maternal mortality hochi, the 30% of the maternal mortality due to unsafe abortion. Though abortion is legal, we know that abortion is not illegal in our country, but still illegal abortion are rampant due to unwed motherhood or due to teenage pregnancy or some other reason, that when such abortion are being conducted at home without help of medical experts, then this is known as illegal abortion, and this leads to maternal death. आ गोटे फैक्टर हैला इनएडिक्वेट पोस्टनेटल केयर. तो जेते की जत्न मां मानु को माने प्रेगनेंसी समय रे दरकार, प्रेगनेंसी परवर्ती समय जहाँ में प्रसूति अवस्था कहबा ता परवर्ती समय रे बेसी अधिका जत्न दरकार हुए ताको कहा जे पोस्टनेटल पीरियड. So antenatal period जोटा की प्रसव पूर्ववर्ती समय और पोस्टनेटल पीरियड जोटा प्रसव परवर्ती समय, दीटा जाक समय बहुत इंपोर्टेंट. किंतु प्रसव परवर्ती पीरियड जोटा को हमें पोस्टनेटल पीरियड कहबा से समय केयर सबुठ बेसी अधिका दरकार उभय छुआ पई और माँ पई कि जते बेले हमें से समय जत्न ठीक से नहीं पारुने so that is how it give rise to lots of complications. So inadequate postnatal care is very common among the people among the rural areas. So nearly 80% of the deliveries which are institutional in India, however, over 70% of mothers, they stay less than 24 hours at institution after delivery. जदियो आमर institutional delivery 80% अच्छी जे प्राय माँ माने को हॉस्पिटल निया जाउची बा जोटा चेकअप पीरियड थाए 3 ट्राइमस्टर जो मेन 3 ट्राइमस्टर थाए प्रत्येक 3 मास व्यवधान जो चेकअप करवा कथा सेटा जदियो करा जाउची और डेलीवरी टा 80% हमर हॉस्पिटल रे होची तथापि देखा जाउची जे 70% केसेस रे आफ्टर डेलीवरी मदर्स they are reluctant to stay for 24 hours. So usually 70% of mothers they stay less than 24 hours at institution after delivery. तो से तादर असुविधा कौन होची ना छुआर इम्यूनाइजेशन रिलेटेड बा तांकर निजर स्वास्थ्यगत जहाँ भी नॉलेज पाइबा कथा ए सबो से माने ठीक भाबरे तांको मिली पारि न थाए. So when they go back to home they do not get enough attention from the family members, so that results into inadequate postnatal care. तो postnatal care जो बड़े हवा कथा सेटा हे पारे नहीं. So nearly 62% of mothers received postnatal care with 2 days of delivery from a doctor or nurse or other medical or health personals. So that केवल 62% माँ जो माने postnatal care delivery रा 2 दिन भितरे से माने पाई थांती निकटस्थ स्वास्थ्य केंद्र नर्स मान ठारू बा डॉक्टर मान अर्थ आहुरी बहुत 38% मदर जो माने एई भली सुविधारू वंचित थांती बा से माने postnatal care पाई पारि न थांती. So only 36.4% they received financial assistance under JSY or Janani Suraksha Yojana. तो हमें एटा भी देखिबा एटा भी बहुत इंपोर्टेंट जे फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंट प्रकृत रे केवल 36.4% ही का पाखरे ही अवेलेबल हे पारुचे. आ गोटे बड़ फैक्टर हैला पोर एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशन एंड पोर हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. So lack of safe drinking water, pure water, unclean sanitations, open defecations, all these leads to poor environmental conditions, and poor environment is very much linked to poor health. If we are not supported by safe drinking water or this clean hygienic living, then definitely it would lead to lots of infections causing health issues. Only 58.6% of the antenatal mothers have antenatal checkup during first trimester. First trimester hela prathama 3 मास pregnancy रो प्रथम 3 मास जोटी के माँ माने निश्चित भाव में जाइकरी चेकअप करबा कथा जाको कहा जाय एंटीनेटल चेकअप. किंतु देखा जाउची जे जम्मारू 58.6% of antenatal mothers they have antenatal checkup. And regarding consumption of iron and folic acid tablets, IFA tablet, there are also many deviations. जोटा कि निहाती दरकार से समय फिटस रो ग्रोथ में आयरन एंड फॉलिक एसिड टैबलेट गोटे महिला निहाती भाबरे प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन she must take. But what happens that the consumption of IFA tablet for 100 days or more is only 30%. तो एटा बहुत कम संख्या जोटा कि रिजल्ट को 30% of the pregnant mother they consume IFA tablet for 100 days, and only 21% of the women they had full antenatal care. So if you look at the statistics, it's really depressing to know that very few percentage of the women they get proper medical attention, or they they follow all those necessary prescriptions. So definitely if you do not follow accordingly, then we have to meet the harsh consequences. So what is required? प्रकृति आम दरकार कौन ना चारिटा एंटीनेटाल चेकअप हेथिबा दरकार पूरा जो व्यवधान रही प्रेगनेंसी समुदाय प्रेगनेंसी पीरियड जो 9-10 मास अच्छी से निहाती 4 थर एंटीनेटाल चेकअप हेथिबा दरकार एटलिस्ट 1 टिटेनस टॉक्साइड इंजेक्शन निया दरकार आउ कौन ना जोटा आम कहे आईएफए टैबलेट बा आयरन फॉलिक एसिड टैबलेट सेटा 100 दिन बा ताठू ऊर्ध आम नहीं दरकार ए सबुथिरे जदि आम अवहेला करूचे ताहले आमर रिस्क फैक्टर बढ़ी जाउची जो कॉम्प्लिकेशंस जहाँ जहाँ आम कारण एपर्यंत आलोचना कले से सब रिस्क फैक्टर बढ़ी जाउची तापर आउ गोटे बड़ कल्चरल रीजन हैला मेल प्रेफरेंस कॉजिंग फीमेल फिटिसाइड एबे भी गाँ गहली रे कोन शहर मानकरे भी जो गोटे क्रेज अच्छी मेल चाइल्ड पाई so that that's a very serious issue and sometimes it lead to female feticide. We cannot say loudly that there is no such cases of female feticide after PCPNDT Act जो आमर जेंडर डिटेक्शन जोटा आमर आईनगत भाव आईन माध्यम रे सेटा को पूरा बारण कर दिया गला आमे कोनोसी लिंग आमे निरूपण करि परिबा नाही किंतु तथापि लिंग निरूपण लुचा छपारे से सब चली आउ से आ भितर बहुत गुड़े केसेस रे फीमेल फिटिसाइड भी एभरी घटना भी घटुची तो आमे देखुचे जे 93 women per 1000 men in India, which means over 37 million female are missing in India. So we look at the gender ratio. वर्तमान आम भारत जेंडर रेशियो जदि आम देखा प्रत्येक 1000 पुरुष रे 933 स्त्री अच्छा तो बाकी माने कुआडे गले आम जदि नेचुरल प्रिंसिपल को फॉलो करिबा द वुमेन शुड आउट नंबर मेन आम जदि नेचुरली जिबा ताले स्त्री मानक संख्या बा झियो मानक संख्या पुरुष बा पु मानक ठारो अधिक हबा कथा जोटा कि आम नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन रे ऑलरेडी सेटा रिफ्लेक्ट करूची एटा होची गोटे नेचुरल रिफ्लेक्शन किंतु सेटा आम समाज रे रिफ्लेक्ट होनी जोटा नेचुरली हबा कथा सेटा होनी ता अर्थ जो गैप टा आसी छि आम भितरे जो वुमेन और मेन रो टोटल नंबर रे एटा गैप टा आसुची काहे कि ना देयर इज सम इविल इंटेंशन बिहाइंड इट देयर इज फीमेल फिटिसाइड cases. So as long as such cases will go on, definitely we are not going to have a parity in man and women ratio. So what happens that because of the son preference, it caused to female fiticide, infanticide, and all those things are being carried out secretly. And it illegal he fiticide by infanticide wala cases a baby eguda so secretly hoji तार डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट पड़ुची मारा हेल्थ उपरे सो दैट इज हाउ इट इज कजिंग हाई मैटरनल मोर्टालिटी सिमिलरली आ गोटे कॉज हैला फीमेल इलिटरेसी एंड पॉवर्टी जोटा कि सबुठु मूल कारण नियरली 30% ऑफ वुमेन आर इलिटरेट with less information and less health knowledge. So definitely when we do not educate ourselves, so we shall remain deprived of knowing the information regarding our health, what to be done at what time, particularly reproduction जो process थाए से बहुत जिनस गोटे माँ को जानिबा को थाए से माटी जो परिवार को बिलोंग करे से परिवार सदस्य मान को जानिबा को दरकार हुए जदि आम से सब जिनस जानी नथिबा से इनफॉरमेशन हम पाखे नथिबो जे केमती आम सेफ मदरहुड अचीव करबा. So, because of then definitely it will lead to mortality type of cases, and it shows that 30% of women are illiterate. So it means they have less health knowledge, and due to poverty, people cannot also afford quality health service. Poverty भी गोटे कारण जो थी पे से मैंने quality health service पाई पारी ना थांती जो समय रे गोटे urgently गोटे सर्जरी दरकार पड़िबो. तो आम जानी प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल अवस्था जहाँ बहुत दूर दूरांत गाँ मानक सरकारी स्वास्थ्य सेवा उत्साहजनक नुहे तो से जगह ड्यू टू लैक ऑफ क्वालिटी हेल्थ सर्विस also there are cases of mortality. Another important reason is cultural apathy to women's health. This is a very जा कौन मंजी जिनस जे आमर जो संस्कृति बा आमर जो धर्म बा आमर जो परंपरा ए सब रही नो डाउट ए बहुत रिच आम को गोटे संगठित जीवन रे हमको बहुत सहायता करे किंतु से जो पुरुष प्राधान्य समाज जो पुरुष मानसिकता रही सेटा बहुत कांशरे दायी जो आम गोटे स्त्री लोकर स्वास्थ्य को से गुरुत्वर सहित नहीं न था जिते से जन्म हुए छोट बेले गोटे छोट झीटे जन्म होची सेबे ठारू माँ हवा पर्यंत जो व्यवधान संपूर्ण व्यवधान से भितरे आमे तार हेल्थ को लेकिरी हार्डली केबे एते अधिका गुरुत्वर सहित चिंता करिछु मु कहूची एवरेज मिडिल क्लास साइकोलॉजी साधारण भाव लो इनकम फैमिली बा मिडिल इनकम फैमिली रे जो मानसिकता अच्छी से गोटे स्त्री रो स्वास्थ्य को लेकिरी बहुत अधिक आम ना ही सचेतन था ना ही तापरे एते आम बसे गुरुत्व दे था तो या को कहा जाए कल्चरल एपैथी टू वुमेन्स हेल्थ सब बेले माँ मान को माने झील मान को छोट बड़ शिखाई थाए जे तमे निज कथा केबे केयर करबानी निजर कौन सी माने निजर कौन सी आवश्यकता निजर डिमांड को ऊपर बेसी गुरुत्व दबानी निजर इच्छा पसंद को पछरे रखी सब बेले परिवार रो अन्य मानकर पसंद तांकर इच्छा को बेसी गुरुत्व दबा एटा भलो कथा बट नॉट एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ योर हेल्थ किंतु ए जो पाठ हमको छोट बड़ पढ़ाई तो आम झील मैंने जिते भविष्य क्या घर बो होती जिते माँ होती से मैंने भूली जाउछंती जे तांको भितरे जो जीवनटे अच्छी से जीवन को भी सेतिकी सपोर्ट बा बड़ दरकार जो तांको भल खाइबा को पड़िबो तांको प्रॉपर रेस्ट दरकार तांको से सब मेडिकल असिस्टेंस सेतिकी यू नो ऑल दो सपोर्ट दैट दे नीड किंतु से भली माने पारिपार्श्विक अवस्था बा से भली गोटे कंड्यूसिव एनवायरनमेंट वी ऑफन फेल टू प्रोवाइड टू द प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन इन आवर फैमिली तो एटा गोटे कथा आ गोटे कथा जते खाइला बेले जते घरे खाइबा को बढ़ा हुए तो बेसिकली कौन हुए आम घर मानक पुरुष लोक मान को आग वयस्क लोक मान को आम आग खाइबा को दे था भल कथा एते किछि असुविधा नहीं किंतु जते जड़े प्रेग्नेंट अच्छी प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन अच्छी सेठी आमे ताकू प्रथमे प्रायोरिटी दबा कथा समस्त अपेक्षा समस्त पक्ष करी आग जे प्रेग्नेंट अच्छी वुमेन अच्छी ताकू आग प्रथमे आमे प्रायोरिटी दबा कथा तार न्यूट्रिशनल रिक्वायरमेंट तार साइकोलॉजिकल रिक्वायरमेंट सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी तार हेल्थ ए सब जाक प्रथमे रहिबो तापरे बाकी सब बट सेटा बहुत कम क्वचित किछि फैमिली रे जदी से माने सेतिकी गुरुत्वर सहित एको ध्यान दौथवे बट इन मेनी और इन मेजॉरिटी ऑफ फैमिली such cases you know such importance is not being given and also there are so many cultural taboos you know there are lots of what you say misbeliefs or superstitious practices these are known as cultural taboos which are creating obstruction on the way माने गोटे सेफ मदरहुड रे ए सब गोटे बाधा हेकरी आसे जेमति कि मु जानिली तम माने केते दूर एटा जानिछ पिला माने जे गां गहली रे स्त्री लोक मानु को विवाहित महिला मानु को अंडा और चिकन खाइबा को मना करा जाय थाए एटा गोटे बहुत बड़ प्रमुख समस्या कहीं जिते गोटे माटे गोटे जीवन को धारण करे ताको बहुत अधिका प्रोटीन खाइबा दरकार किंतु विवाहित महिला को तमे मना करदब से अंडा और चिकन खाइबनी कहीं से विवाहित एटा गोटे छोटे एग्जांपल दउछि एमते बहुत गुड एग्जांपल अछि एमते बहुत गुड टैबोस अछि तो आ द्वारा कौन होछि आमे खाली गोटे माँ र स्वास्थ्य को हानि पहुंचाउने आमे से गर्भ भितर बढ़ुतवा छोट शिशुटी को भी पूर्ण भाव रे विकसित हबा को देउना तो ए विषय रे गोटे जन जागरण हबा दरकार आमे माने ए सब टैबोस को ओवरकम करिया दरकार आउ सेही उद्देश्य नै कि ही आज रो आलोचना चक्र सो दैट आमे ए जो इग्नोरेंस आम भितरे आम अजाणता रे आमे पालिचे ताधुर केमती आमे ऊर्ध्व को उठिबा अच्छा नेक्स्ट को जिबा मेजर एंड प्रिवेंशंस परिडा सर मते केते समय अछि 15 मिनिट अछि हाँ
मैडम कहंदु
हाँ आमे बर्तमान कॉजेस विषय पिला माने डिस्कशन कले बे हम आसीबा मेजर्स ऑफ प्रिवेंशन को कौन हमर मेजर सोफार निया जाईची सरकारी स्तर रे आगा हम से विषय टिके जानिबा। प्रथम कथा हला दीटा बहुत बड़ गोल हम पाखरे अछि। गोटे हला नेशनल रूरल हेल्थ मिशन रो गोल आ गोटे हला एसडीजी बा सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल। हम नेशनल प्लेटफॉर्म रे जोटा को हमें कहूँ नेशनल रूरल हेल्थ मिशन तार सबुठु प्राइम जो इम्पोर्टेंट गोल भितर सबुठु बड़ गोल है टू रेगुलेट मैटरनल डेथ एंड चाइल्ड डेथ। आमे मैटरनल डेथ बा चाइल्ड डेथ को केमती रेस्ट्रिक्ट करबा सेटा हला सबुठु बड़ गोल एनआरएचएम अंडर आसुची। आ इंटरनेशनल प्लेटफॉर्म रे जोटा सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल कथा कुआ जाउची बा एसडीजी जोटा गोटे मापदंड रखा है 2030 पर्यंत हमको किसी टार्गेट दिया है 2030 भितर आमे जेमती बहुत गुडे समस्या जो हमें अच्छी से आमे केमती ओवरकम कर परिबा। ता भितर जो गोल नंबर 3 अच्छी एसडीजी रो से गोल नंबर 3 टा सेटा इंडिकेट करछे मैटरनल और चाइल्ड हेल्थ को लेके सो दैट आमे ए बाबदे केते स्टेप आमे नौचे टू रिड्यूस मैटरनल मोर्टालिटी एंड इन्फेंट मोर्टालिटी। इन्फेंट मोर्टालिटी इज वेरी मच लिंक्ड टू मैटरनल मोर्टालिटी राइट। ना कमिंग टू गवर्नमेंटल मेजर्स कौन हम सरकारी स्तर रे सब योजना रही। प्रथम योजना है जननी सुरक्षा योजना। So this scheme is completely sponsored by central government, 100% sponsored by the central government, and this came into existence in 1995. 1995 मसीहारू ए योजना आसिला। ए योजना गोटे बहुत कहया गले गोटे बहुत उत्साहप्रद योजना, very encouraging step of the government because it provides some cash assistance to the needy pregnant women at the time of delivery and also after delivery. डेलीवरी समय रे आ डेलीवरी परवर्ती समय रे केमती माटे तारो जत्न नै परिबो सेति पई जो आवश्यक संबल दरकार से ताकू कैश असिस्टेंस माध्यम रे जननी सुरक्षा योजना प्रोवाइड करे। तो एथिरे आशार भूमिका बहुत अच्छी। आमे समस्ते आशार रोल विषय परिचित। वर्तमान समस्ते आशांकर रोल को लेकरी बहुत ही उत्साही और से माने बहुत भल काम करूचंती सब गाँ गहल मानकरे जो मैटरनल हेल्थ बा रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ को प्रमोट करबा पई। तो एठी रोल ऑफ एक्रेडिटेड सोशल हेल्थ एक्टिविस्ट जाको हमें आशा कहताऊ इट्स वेरी क्रुशियल because ASA always acts as an intermediary between the common man and the government. सरकार आउ साधारण लोकंग भितरे आशा गोटे ब्रिज रो काम करंती। और ए जो प्रच्छान राशि रही तो एटा आमे एथिपे स्वतंत्र फंड रिलीज हुए जे को कंडीशन रे केते अमाउंट आमे गोटे प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन को तार डिलीवरी समय रे बा परवर्ती समय रे आमे ताको प्रोवाइड करि परिबा। सेमती प्रत्येक कम्युनिटी हेल्थ सेंटर जो अछि बा रेफरल यूनिट अछि तार आनुषंगिक विकास पई बा तार इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल डेवलपमेंट पई मध्य फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस गवर्नमेंट रो प्रोवाइड करा जाय। ओके आउ जो ठीक गोटे प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन रो गोटे किछु गोटे बहुत क्रिटिकल स्टेट आसे पहुंची जाउची ताको इमरजेंसी रे भर्ती करिया पडुची बा गोटे हठात गोटे सर्जरी रो आवश्यकता पडुची तो से जगह रे 1500 sum that is provided to the pregnant woman so that he can spend it, he can meet the necessary expenditure by seeking help from any government or private hospital or from nursing home. So there is also provision under Janani Suraksha Yojana. तो हमें जो financial assistance दोचे सेटा केते दोचे को कंडीशन है दोचे। Here is a table. इठी हमर तीनटा कैटेगरी अछि लो परफॉर्मेंस स्टेट, हाई परफॉर्मेंस स्टेट्स एंड बोथ द स्टेट। तो हमो स्टेट हम ओडिशा सेटा ए हाई परफॉर्मेंस स्टेट अंडर रे आसुची। हाई परफॉर्मिंग स्टेट्स माने कोन मैं जोठी ए जो मैटरनल मोर्टालिटी ता आस्ते आस्ते डिक्लाइन करूची। जो प्रथम जो पंचटा राज्य अच्छी उत्तर प्रदेश, मध्य प्रदेश, आसाम जो मान भितर मैटरनल मोर्टालिटी बहुत अधिक रही भितर ओडिशा भी अच्छी। तो एमानंको केस से देखा जाउची जे से माने बहुत क्विकली देयर इज अ पॉजिटिव सिग्नल जे से माने मैटरनल मोर्टालिटी को रिड्यूस करी करी आसु छांती तो सेति में कुहा जाउची जे से माने हेले हाई परफॉर्मिंग स्टेट तो ए जगह रे जननी सुरक्षा योजना अंडर रे मदर्स असिस्टेंस 700 टंका रोची दोज हु बिलोंग टू SC ST और BPL कैटेगरी and delivering in a government health center जदि से government health center या से delivery करूछंती ताले तंको 700 टंका मदर्स असिस्टेंस रहुची रूरल एरिया रे आ शहर रे मानकरे एटा 600 टंका आ जोठी से माने इंस्टीट्यूशनल डिलीवरी हे पारुनी माने से माने हॉस्पिटल को आसी के डिलीवरी करि पारुनांती घरे करूछंती with the with the assistance of the medical persons किंतु घरे डिलीवरी होची आ से माने BPL कैटेगरी को बिलोंग करूछंती से जगह रे तंको 500 टंका असिस्टेंस मिलुची रूरल एरिया रे आ सेमती 500 टंका असिस्टेंस तंको शहर रे मिलुची So women beneficiary belonging to BPL category who prefer to deliver at home. So this is the amount that is being given under Janani Suraksha Yojana. Now coming to Pradhana Mantri Matru Bandhana Yojana, this is another promotional program, another effective program under the scheme. So it is implemented in 2017 in all districts of the state. And the major objective is to give partial compensation to pregnant women and lactating mother who are working and had to experience a wage loss during the pregnancy. तो ये जो प्रधानमंत्री मातृ वंदना योजना अच्छी इटा सेही माँ मान को पाई जो मैंने चाकरी समय रे बा कौन सी कारण रो तांकर चाकरी तांको पड़ी ची बा वेज लॉस हेई ची से समय तांको financial assistance दबा पाई ये योजना टा रही ची. So under this maternal benefit program, the beneficiary would receive 5,000 rupees in 3 installments. Eta भी किछि condition अच्छी से condition fulfill करले तांको 3टा installment रे 5,000 टंका मिले. तो एटा सेही माँ मान को मिले जो माने आइदर काम करूछंती बा कोनसी कारण तांकर चाकरी करथले चाकरी पळेछि तांको पाखरे सेतिकी आर्थिक संबळ नाही निजर जत्न नबा पई तो सेमानक पई ए प्रधानमंत्री मातृ वंदना योजना अछि. एटा भी सेही जननी सुरक्षा योजना रे भी गोटे पार्ट. आ गोटे हिला प्रधानमंत्री सुरक्षित मातृत्व अभियान. प्रधानमंत्री सुरक्षित मातृत्व अभियान एटा 2016 मसिया रे लॉन्च हेछि बेसिकली टू टेक केयर ऑफ द एंटीनेटल केयर दैट मींस बिफोर डिलीवरी the during that is in 3 major trimesters. These are very important. In these 3 major trimester, antenatal care must be provided to all pregnant women. So in the process to provide all those necessary institutional support, Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhijan has taken its objective. So a bhitar kon asuchi na diagnostic and counseling service as a part of the reproductive, maternal, neonatal, child and adolescent health, jaku ame कहबा RMNCH plus A जो हमारा ब्रॉड स्कीम रही से अंडर रे एंटीनेटल केयर पे एटा काम करूची. And this guarantee a minimum package of antenatal care services to women in the 2nd and 3rd trimesters of pregnancy and designated government health facilities. Okay. Now coming to the next major, Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram. जोटा आमे टिके आगुर कथा हेले जे जदि आमे गोटे सुस्थ मातृत्व रो अभिलाषा रखुचो बा अभिलाषा रखुचो ताहले तार कैशोरी अवस्था बा किशोर अवस्था को आमे सेतिके मजबूती दबा दरकार. तो राष्ट्रीय किशोर स्वास्थ्य कार्यक्रम अंडर रे एडोलेसेंट यंग गर्ल्स जो माने रहिले सेमानक हेल्थ को आमे केमती सेतिके सपोर्ट देई परिबा सेई को लक्ष्य रखि करी ए प्रोग्राम टा निया जाईची. So this is one of the strategic movements. Strategic in the sense एटा गोटे बहुत दूरदृष्टि बा बहुत लंबा समय को आखि आगे रखी करी ए प्रोग्राम टा निहाईची to improve health and awareness of the adolescent girls and avoid future threats to safe motherhood. जदि हमें मूलरू तांको हमें स्वास्थ्य विषय सचेतन करि परिले तांकर चाइल्डहुड समय रो तांकर एडोलेसेंट पीरियड रो बा तांको हमें सेतिकी गोटे सुंदर स्वास्थ्य जोगे दे पारिले by bringing awareness on adequate nutritional intake or being aware of the health related programs, then definitely we can avoid any kind of such threats related to maternal health. So Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram that aim at to increase the awareness and access to information about adolescent health. It make provision of counseling and health service, and it make provision of specific services such as sanitary napkin, iron folic acid supplementation, इत्यादि इत्यादि सेमते आ गोटे प्रोग्राम हैला लक्ष्य बा लेबर रूम क्वालिटी इंप्रूवमेंट एटा हमरो जो हेल्थ सेंटर अच्छी ता भितरे जो लेबर रूम फैसिलिटी अच्छी तार इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल डेवलपमेंट पई ए प्रोजेक्ट काम करे बेथि पे सब अनुसंगिक सुविधा जोगाई दे। अच्छा ये तो सब गला मेजर्स बा गवर्नमेंटल मेजर्स कथा किंतु आमे आम स्तर रे आमे केमिति प्रिवेंशन ले परिबा। So what preventive measures what we must take at our level? First is education. Without education we cannot think of eradication of any of the issues. So whether it's about poverty, illiteracy, dowry death, whatever it may be, education is must. Second, an increase in the use of contraception for the safe reproductive health, for the safe conjugal life. Use of contraception is very important. Then there must be focus on more prenatal care. During pregnancy, prenatal care must be given due importance. Then there should be more encouragement to institutional delivery, so that women must deliver when they visit the hospital. I mean, when at the time of delivery, they must be brought into the hospital for the safe delivery. And the greater availability of antibiotics, blood transfusion, and treatment for complication. All those medical support must be easily accessible to those women. And then advances in specialized care for high-risk pregnancies and delivery. So specialized care, the provision of specialized care should be accessible to pregnant women of the rural and the impoverished region, or you can say the disadvantaged sections. Now we have come to the concluded part. What we came to know that country is on the right track. Actually, since 2000, we are gradually getting a reduction in the maternal mortality. So there is a sigh of relief. So by 2030, the target what has been fixed that we must come to the point of 70, जोटा एबे हमरो जो 150 अछि सेटा को कमे किरी 2030 भितरे 70 रे रखिबार अछि. I am hopeful that we are going to achieve it very soon. And India still has several drawbacks. ए सब सत्य भी हमें जानि छु बहुत गुटे drawback अछि हमर cultural level रे हमर daily practices रे with regard to health awareness. So we need to overcome all these drawbacks, and especially 3 important stages. First, that is the skilled care before childbirth, then skilled care during the childbirth, and skilled care after childbirth. So, age of care or attention before childbirth, during childbirth, and after childbirth. Prenatal, postnatal care, that is very important in order to save thousands of mother, lakhs of mother. Then only we can ensure a safe India and safe place for all mothers of the India. Thank you. I think we have come to the end of this discussion. It's not audible, sir. It is Subha Jauni.
अच्छा अच्छा एबे एबे सुबुची हेलो Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, now audible.
Okay. Actually, ମୁଁ କଣ କହିବାକୁ ଯାଉଥିଲି କହିଥିଲି I am repeating ଯେ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ୟୁଜଫୁଲ ଡିସ୍କସନ ଏବଂ ଅତି ଫ୍ରୁଟଫୁଲ ଡିସ୍କସନ ଏବେ ସାରିଲେ। এটা ଗୋଟେ ନ୍ୟାସନାଲ ସିନାରିଓ ଯୋଉ ନ୍ୟାସନାଲ ସିନାରିଓକୁ ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସନକୁ ନେଇଥିଲେ ଏବଂ ପର୍ଟିକୁଲାରଲି ଯେତିକି ଆମର ପାର୍ଟିସିପାଣ୍ଟ ଥିଲେ ଶେଷ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସଂଖ୍ୟା ସେତିକି ରହିଛି। ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ ଅଲସୋ ଭେରି ମଚ୍ ଏନକରେଜିଂ। ଗୋଟେ କଥା ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ ପାର୍ଟିସିପାଣ୍ଟ ମାନେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଏକ୍ସେପ୍ଟ ପଟ୍ଟାମୁଣ୍ଡାଇ କଲେଜ ଅନ୍ୟ କୋଉ କଲେଜର ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି ଅନ୍ୟ କେତେକ କଲେଜର ପିଲା ପାର୍ଟିସିପେଟ କରିଛନ୍ତି ପାଖାପାଖି ଆଳି କଲେଜ ବଡପଡା ମଦନପୁର ରାଜନଗର ଏମିତି ସବୁ କରୁଆ କିଛି କଲେଜର କିଛି ପିଲା ଜଏନ କରିଛନ୍ତି ସେଟା ଆମେ ଜାଣୁଛୁ। ସେ କଲେଜର ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଆମେ ଯେତିକି ସହଯୋଗ କରିପାରିଲୁ ପଟ୍ଟାମୁଣ୍ଡାଇ କଲେଜ ତରଫରୁ ଥ୍ରୁ ବିଭାବରୀ ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଯେ ସୋସିଓଲୋଜି ଅଫ ହେଲ୍ଥ ରେ ବହି ଲେଖିଲା ପରେ ମୁଁ ଯାହା କହିବି ଆମେ ମାନେ ସେ ପେପର ପଢିବା ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିପାରିବୁ। ବୋଧହୁଏ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନି ଆଉ କିଏ ବହି ଆସିଛି କି ନାହିଁ ସୋସିଓଲୋଜି ଅଫ ହେଲ୍ଥ ଉପରେ। ଏବେ ପ୍ରାୟ ଆମେ ବିଭାବରୀ ମ୍ୟାଡାମଙ୍କ ବହିକି ଫଲୋ କରି ଚଲେଇଛୁ ପାଠ ପଢା ଏବଂ ରିଅଲି ନାଇସ୍ ଡିସ୍କସନ। ଏବେ ଯଦି ଆମେ क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन को ଯିବା ଆମ ରଞ୍ଜିତ ଭାଇଙ୍କୁ ଅନୁରୋଧ କରିବି क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन को टिके टेक अप करिवे।
सर मु गोटे कथा कहयाकू चाहूची। हाँ गोटे कथा कहा चाहूची जे ओडिशा ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी रो जो तांकर वेब पेज अछि सेतिरे सोशियोलॉजी ऑफ हेल्थ रो जहां मटेरियल्स अपलोड हेची सेतिरे मोर भी कंट्रीब्यूशन रही छि। पर्टिकुलरली जो हमारा मेजर्स रही हेल्थ मेजर जननी सुरक्षा योजना बा प्राइम मिनिस्टर स्वास्थ्य सुरक्षा योजना जहाँ भी रही आमर जो सिलेबस रे जो यूनिट 4 जोटा मीन करूची सेटा पूरा अपलोड हेची तेणु पिला माने से वेब पेज खोलिक भी से सब स्टडी मटेरियल से माने पाई परिवे रिगार्डिंग सोशियोलॉजी ऑफ हेल्थ। आ सेटा बहुत डिटेल रे देहा हेची जदियो बही रे सेटा बेसी डिटेल नाही।
क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन पे टेक।
So, thank you, Dr. Bal Madam, for your very magnetic and magical deliberations on the topic, which mixed with Odia and English, which was very widely understandable and receivable, especially by our students. Thank you, Madam. So now it is time to have some question and answer discussion. I request to our respected participants from different colleges and honored faculties of different colleges. If they have any questions, they can raise their questions, and then I will request our resource persons to comply you. So any questions, dear participants?
Hello. Good afternoon, madam. My question is, you have delivered about a nice topic, but one question comes to my mind that delivering a child is a natural process.
Yes.
But why in recent age we find so many cesarean operations in different medicals? Instead, in spite of several measures we have taken, the number of cesarean operation is increasing day by day. What is the reason, do you think?
Thank you, sir, for asking me the question, but I don't think myself eligible enough to answer this question, because it's more about medical questions. But as we came to know some of the statistical report, that obstructed labor is one of the very prominent cause behind maternal mortality. जो pregnancy समय रे delivery at the time of delivery जो obstructed labor कथा कहा जाउची, the excess bleeding
मैम आपनको वॉइस सुबह नहीं
अच्छा एबे सुबिला हेलो
आज्ञा मैम
हाँ हाँ से ये जो सर जो प्रश्नटी पचारिले सुंदर प्रश्न किंतु मते लागुची यार कारण इट्स अ मेडिकल क्वेश्चन एक्चुअली आपको जने मेडिकल एक्सपर्ट बेसी भल भाबरे कंप्लाई करि परिबो तथापि मोर जेतिकी नॉलेज अछि मो सेतरे कहया को चाहूची जो आमे जो प्रथम हम डिस्कशन कले obstructed labor as one of the major cause behind maternal mortality or heavy bleeding during the time of delivery. So ए जो दीटा गोटे प्रमुख कारण रही सेति पई रिस्क नबा पई मेडिकल प्रोफेशनल्स चाहुनांती तो से माने सीधा सिजेरियन को गोटे फाइनल ऑप्शन हिसाब रे नै जाउछांती बट ता पछरे आउ कोन मेडिकल बा बायोलॉजिकल कारण कोन रही सेटा तो एक्सपर्ट डॉक्टर ही कहि परिबा मेडिकल practitioners they can say it in better way. I can only answer to those questions related to socio-cultural ground because I am a teacher in sociology.
Any question from student side? To raise any questions to Dr. Bal, if they have any questions. Perhaps it looks like the session has come to an end. Perhaps.
Hello, sir. Hello, madam. It's a very pleasant. Thank you, madam. It was a very pleasant discussion and authentic discussion. You have informed so many government programs. But I should, how the government awareness program should reach at the bottom level? And is there any role of PRA member, or it should be implemented through educational institutions? How it will be possible to know the government programs?
Thank you, Lina, madam, for raising such a beautiful questions. प्रथम कथा है हमर जेते प्रोग्राम सब रही छि से सब तो अछि किंतु से सब केबे भी इफेक्टिव हबो नहीं जे पर्यंत सेटा साधारण लोकंग पाखरे पहुंची नहीं तो आज ये जो आलोचनाटी हेला पट्टामुंडई कॉलेज सोशियोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट बाय IQAC रो अग्रणी भूमिका रे तो एटा गोटे बहुत माने स्वागत योग्य पदक्षेप तो एई भली प्रोग्राम माने के जेमति हमर बहुत पिल्ला जो माने गां गहली रे रुहंती से माने आ द्वारा किछिटा निश्चय जानिबा को पाइथिबे एटा जेमति गोटे माध्यम आलोचना चक्र सेमति जो साधारण लोक माने रहिले गां गहली रे पर्टिकुलरली तांको पाखरे हमें केमिति पहुंचेबा ए मेसेज को केम तांको पाखरे पहुंचेबा तो सेति पई पंचायत राज जो हम ग्राम पंचायत व्यवस्था रही से माने एतर अग्रणी भूमिका नै परिबे पंचायत लेवल रे गोटे अवेयरनेस कैंपेन से माने करि परिबे आ गोटे जो कथाला ऑलरेडी त आशा कर्मी माने रिलेटेड काम करू चंदी घर घर बुली से माने जत्ते बळे भी जोठे देखु चंदी जने प्रेग्नेंट हेई छि ताकू कोन सहाय्य सुविधा जोगे दिया जिवो से माने तांका स्तर रे सेटा करू चंदी किंतु आकू आहुरी अधिक सुदृढ़ करिया पई बाहुरी व्यापक करिया पई तृणमूल स्तर रे प्रत्येक लोकंग पाखरे मेसेज पहुंचिया पई एथिपई माने बहुत सचेतनता दरकार से सचेतनता मते लागु पंचायत लेवल रे ही बेसी हे पारिबो रादर देन आम जो आलोचना कले तो हाँ समस्ते शिक्षित समस्ते बसीचु किंतु जो मैंने गाँव रे अच्छा आबद्ध गोटे परिवेश रे तांको पाखरे पहुंचाइले छोट छोट ड्रामा आकार रे प्ले आकार रे एमती किछि नाटक आकार रे जोटा कि आम गणमाध्यम भी से ता भूमिका से निर्वाह करूची आहरी पंचायत लेवल रे मते लागुची या परे काम हबा दरकार जो क्लब अछि छोट छोट वुमेन्स क्लब हैला बा यूथ क्लब हैला से माने भी आगु को आसिकिरी ए मेसेज सबु लोकंग पाखरे पहुंचेबा दरकार।
I think Lina madam has got her answer.
Any other question?
So any other question? Any other question? Who can ask? Perhaps it looks like that the session has come to an end. There's no one to ask any question. So let us come to the end part of the session. Now, this is the time for Thanksgiving to our honorable guests, resource persons, and valuable participants who have made this seminar a great success. So let me first express my sincere thanks and gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Bibhabari Bal, madam, for taking out time in spite of her busy schedule and his tight preparation for ensuing NAC visit in her college. She made a very useful and very purposeful discussion today, which earned a huge response. What I feel today, her depth of knowledge and expertise, I am hopeful, had made this seminar a great success and adds immense value to this discussion. Thank you, Dr. Bala madam, for your kind support and active participation and deliberation in this seminar. Thank you, madam. Let me express my
आपण मते गोटे सुजोग देइथिले किछि कहिबा पई सेटा मो पई गोटे बहुत माने बहुत बड़ा जिंस मो बहुत खुशी हेली जे मो गां रो कॉलेज रे पिला मानु को मजि किछि कहिली सेटा ही मो पई बहुत गर्व और गौरव रो कथा सो एक्चुअली
आमे कहि सर
you are also highly expected by us that we have discussed time and again. You will be invited to deliver speech on different topics.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure.
Physically.
Sure,
Because,
sir. Sure.
because
सब बेले
discussion,
बहाना खोजे सर मु सब बेले बहाना खोजे केतरे मते गांव को जिबा को पड़िबो गां रे जदियो के रहना ते कहारो बागर कोन हेले तो से माने को डकरा पठांती तो मते बहुत खुशी लागे मु सेही मौका रे जाई के बुली के आसे आ गला बली से पट्टामुंडई कॉलेज रास्ता बाटो से रास्ता ही की जाए और थरे अन्य की जाए अब भाबे केतरे मौका मिलेले मु पसी जुई
very soon, madam, very soon you will be invited by the students and faculties of the Department of Sociology, Pattamundai College.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, madam.
Thank you.
So now let me express my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to our esteemed principal, Professor Prabhakar Raut sir, for his immense support and guidance to make this webinar a great success. I also express my sincere thanks to our learning participants for their valuable and kind support and participation, who have come online to join with us in this seminar. And also, I am thankful to Captain Parida, the organizing secretary and HOD of the department, for organizing such a beautiful webinar amidst pandemic situation. So, lastly, I express my loving thanks to our dear students of the Department of Sociology and of this college. And it will be my proud privilege if I express my heartfelt thanks to the IQAC team members and IQAC coordinator Dr. Sunil Pradhan, who is sitting with us, and Jitendra sir and Subhasis sir for their guidance and technical support, which has made this webinar a great success. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ranjit bhai. Thank you all. And एबे मु मैडम को रिक्वेस्ट करिवि मते हमरो जो येटा बिहाबरटे जो एटा पठै दबो कोटा कहला जोटा प्रेजेंट हलन
आज्ञा आज्ञा
हां जोटा प्रेजेंट हला तार स्लाइड रो कॉपी गोटे हम पाखु पीपीटी
हां मु आपन को व्हाट्सएप रे नले मेल रे पठै देबे
हां मेल रे पठै
ठीक है सर नो इश्यू
ठीक
है गोटे कोन ग्रुप फोटो निया जे गोटे ग्रुप फोटो गोटे निया जो
हां श्योर सुनिला सर ग्रुप फोटो तो निया हेई छी पठै स्क्रीनशॉट नै छु आउ भी एबे हम पाखरे आईक्यूएस रे अछंती आईक्यूएस कोऑर्डिनेटर अछंती आईक्यूएस रे हमरो इकोनॉमिक्स रे अछंती सुभाशिष बाबू सब प्रकार टेक्निकल सपोर्ट
वो कहतु वीडियो ऑन कर दियंतु वीडियो ऑन कर दियंतु समस्त
समस्त वीडियो ऑन कर दियंतु पार्टिसिपेंट्स माने नीलमणि सर शेष पर्यंत अछंती हमर डॉक्टर नीलमणि लंका हमर एचओडी ओडिया
थैंक यू नीलमणि बाबू फॉर बीइंग विथ अस
समस्त वीडियो ऑन करंतु
Now I can see so many pretty faces. I feel so glad. Physically जो communication है परिवो तारा मजा अलगा.
ओके आउ के वीडियो ऑन करिवे की
लीला मैडम बसचंती सेठी नहीं
Thank you.
खाता देखला को तो देखा है हां हम जान से बादर तुम कोनटे हो
जे फिजिकल मोड रे आउटे लाइवली हुए और ये बहुत भल लगे एंथुसियाज्म बढ़ी जाए उभय पटु तो होपफुली हमें आगु को पुनी केतळे सेमती मौका मिलिले सामना सामनी कथा हबा
ठीक है निश्चित ओके एबे हम क्लोज करिबा की
श्योर
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर आप समस्त को हमको अलाउ करथबारु वेबिनार को खूब भल लागिला वेबिनार
आउ टिके गोटे मिनिट रहंतु मु हम कॉलेज रो सीनियर मोस्ट फैकल्टी मेंबर नीलमणि सर को रिक्वेस्ट करिवि गोटे पद दुई पद कहिबे आज रो डेलिब्रेशन ऊपर समस्त बड़ भाई समस्त मानु हम ताको नीलमणि सर
हमर जे रेस्पेक्टेड बिभावरी मैडम जहा उपस्थापना कले बहुत भलो थिला उपस्थापना शैली एवं ताकर जो थीम टी रखले भारी बढ़िया हला डिस्कशन टी बहुत भलो हिची आ पिला मानक पई मध्ये भारी उपादेय हिची आ मु तो देखिची प्राय 80 पाखा पाखी पिलर के लेफ्ट हेनती सब लास्ट पंत अछंती आ मु तो प्रथम रु शेष पंत अछंती टॉक टी बहुत सुंदर हला आ से पई मध्ये मु व्यक्तिगत भाबे एवं कॉलेज तरफ मु बहुत कांग्रेचुलेशन जणौजी मैडम को आ फिजिकली के आसंतु हम कॉलेज को गोटे सेमिनार हो मु आम सोशियोलॉजी सर मान को रिक्वेस्ट करछि मनोज बाबू रंजित बाबू मैडम को थरे फिजिकली हम सेमिनार को आनंतु
Sure, sir. Sure.
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद नीलमणि बाबू मैडम नीलमणि बाबू विषय रे मु टिके आपन कहि दउची
आज्ञा
नीलमणि बाबू वर्तमान वेरी सून इन द मंथ ऑफ मे is going to retire नीलमणि बाबू होचंती जने 10 खंड गल्प संकलन तांकर रहिछि से जने विशिष्ट गाल्पिक औपन्यासिक कवि तेणु तांकर ओडिया भाषा मातृभाषा प्रति ये जो रुचि रही से पब्लिकेशन गुड़ा हमको बहुत समय नायक कार्य रे कॉलेज को बहुत सहायक होता है एवं हमारा दुख जे से बहुत शीघ्र हमको
सर गोटे टीचर तो केबे रिटायर्ड करेनी मो जानि बारे गोटे जने वंस अ टीचर ही इज अ टीचर लाइफ टाइम माने से केबे रिटायर्ड करंतीनी नीलमणि सर एते सुंदर तंकर लेखा लेखी करंती और से सेमते आगु को करू थांतु बहुत 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 शुभकामना और सर मोर ओडिया कहिबारे बहुत त्रुटि हेतिवा मते क्षमा कर देबे मु बहुत चेष्टा करी छी कहया पे मु जानि छी सेते बहुत भूल हेतिवा ठीक भाबरे कहि पारि न
नहीं नहीं खूब सुंदर डिस्कशन खूब सुंदर माने इंफॉर्मेशन भल लागेला
मैडम किछि कोंतु
थैंक यू नहीं सर मु तो बहुत खुशी आपण मते अलाउ करचंती वेबिनार तो जॉइन करिया पे आ खूब भल लागिला मैडम को तो मु देखिथिली खाता देखा बेले आ मैडम कर बही भी करची खूब भल लागिला जेंति जते बेले वेबिनार करूथबे हमको इंफॉर्मेशन दउथबे भल लागियो
थैंक यू मैम
बहुत इंफॉर्मेटिव थिला डिस्कशन खूब सुंदर थिला आ मैडम तो एते इंफॉर्मेटिव थिले आ पूरा डिटेल्स थिला खाली केमती एटा माने गवर्नमेंट प्रोग्राम ता इंप्लीमेंट ठीक से हेई परले आहुरी बेसी इफेक्टिव हबो प्रोग्राम गुडा को डेथ रेट ता आहुरी कमी जीवो सेटा होची हमर मेन पर्पस
नो मैम
ओके थैंक यू लेना मैडम ठीक अछि हमें एबे बहुत समय हलानी हमें एबे क्लोज करिबा मैडम कर बहुत व्यस्तता मध्ये अछि हमें जानि छु ओके थैंक यू रहिलो
थैंक यू
ओके
मैम हेलो मैम
केन बंद कर बेटा रे
now the webinar comes to an end thank you all